guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna react to this YouTuber, Cold Hard Cam. As course, I've reacted to this YouTuber before. I'm sure if you guys know this, but he recently uploaded a video called "Why You're Going to Die Single and Alone." Now, of course, it's gonna be related to the dating market, and I feel like there's still hope, right? There's still hope. you know, even though, like, yes, it's very bad, there's still hope. There's a possibility of change, right? But that possibility of change is going to be very difficult. So I'm gonna see how he reacts to this. Of course, he's reacting to another video, but I'm gonna see how my thoughts, how I react to it, and see if I can agree with them, see if I don't. So let's get to this video.
If you're ugly, if you are below whatever standard she has set in her mind, she's gonna view you as some creep, some weirdo. Women expect a nigga to be tall as shit, six-pack, buff, but ain't hit a gym the day in their life. What's good with y'all? It's Cameron video.
Yeah, that's true. Like, the standards are probably definitely like a big factor, because especially the unrealistic standards, right? And how it can, affect dating as a whole, right?
Yo, straight like that. Comment down below what you want to see in the next one. Like and subscribe if you're brand new. And let's hop into the video. So today we are talking about why modern dating feels harder than ever. We're gonna react to this video. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long, bro, and I'm gonna be all the way honest, man. This video is 32 minutes long, and y'all know how we get down over here. If I do my reactions like I usually do, it's gonna be like a minute long, bro. So we gonna try and get through at least half. All right, so bear with me, subscribe if you're new, and let's go.
Men don't approach women anymore.
My dating life is a joke.
A lot of y'all expectations and standards are way too high.
Why is everybody single? It seems like the modern dating scene is in shambles, and that's exactly what we're gonna get into in this video. We're gonna be hearing from both perspectives, both men and women, and really get to the core of the situation. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, and let's dive right into this video.
Since men don't approach women anymore, I guess I should start going up to men. I live in a city, and literally anytime I'm walking anywhere, anytime I see a cute guy, it's always heads down, headphones in, he won't look at.
I will say, if you want to be approached, if you are single and not even looking for a relationship, but you're looking for more friends to be around, you have to be approachable. You have to have your headphones out, you have to be looking ahead, smiling, just making eye contact.
Yeah, that's definitely true, right? And I think the biggest factor to it is like the fear of rejection, the fear of being judged, the fear of being taken advantage of, fear of being manipulated, right? But you're only gonna find out when you see that signals, those cues, and then when you have to just go up and talk to someone about it, right? I still, like, of course, approach girls very open, like, talk to people in general, Of course, I faced rejection, but I didn't let that stop me, I think that's kind of that big barrier to, especially this generation, this modern dating now, is just that the biggest barrier would be rejection. The biggest barrier would be fear of the judgment, fear of the criticism, fear of being taken advantage and manipulated of because of that past trauma. So
you have to be inviting.
That's very true. That's very true. But even then, what you got to understand is that men are not approaching because, girls have headphones in and things of that nature. Men are not approaching because of the nature of, how women will treat a guy, right? Because what it is that, it's the age-old tale. If you are an attractive guy and you approach a girl, things should be all right. Even if she turns you down, she'll probably do it in a generally polite way. But the truth of the matter is that if you're ugly, if you are below whatever standard she has set in her mind, she's going to view you as some creep, some weirdo. Oh my gosh, she's going to tell all of her homegirls, all of her coworkers, oh my gosh,
yeah, of course, like, attractiveness plays a big role, especially if the big high trend of the looks maxing communities. Of course, that's also known as the halo effect, if an attractive person comes to, of course, a woman, they'll just most likely like them, and even if they reject them, they do it in a polite way. If you're unattractive, then, you'll be seen as more negative stuff. So, of course, acknowledge other factors in this case. And of course, that's one of the single things you can really improve first, right?
some creep came up to me and he tried to ask for my number, and it was the worst thing ever. Oh my gosh, girl, are you okay? Just because the guy was ugly, you know? And it's like, as men, we don't want to be labeled that, right? Let alone social media. Shooting your shot on social media is basically asking to get screenshotted and posted on their story. It's just a bad time all around for everybody.
Same time, men have been shat on for approaching women. Oh, leave me alone. I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend. Don't talk to me. And it's even happened to me as a gay man. I've gone up to a girl like, hey, you're really attractive. And she's like, I have a boyfriend. And I'm like, I'm gay. Like, what are we doing here? Why can't I just compliment you? And when a straight guy goes to that enough, guess what? They're just gonna stop talking to women because they're just tired of being treated like crap.
Literally, no one is approachable
No,
anymore.
I'm just gonna keep things all the way 1 million, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's definitely the factor of rejection, you know.
Like, we appreciate you for making this video, my guy. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, maybe because he is of the, you know, rainbow community, then maybe he'll have a more neutral perspective. But for me personally, I just feel as if you're not actively in the, you know, straight dating game, it's very difficult for to give a perspective. You know what I'm saying? Just because you ain't experienced that, you got a whole different.
I mean, I definitely like the YouTube the guy saying that he's gay. Honestly, I like how he's very honest and transparent, and at least he's giving you some advice rather than no advice at all. Even though he doesn't have a perspective on it, right? So
experience. Nobody knows what the dating market is like for you. No, nobody knows what that dating market is like except you. You the expert in that shit. You got it. But when it comes to, you know, the regular, you know, when we talking about, you know, straight of her moves, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to that type of thing, when it comes to straight relationships, I feel like you can't really be the expert, bro. And that's just my opinion, though.
More. No one looks at each other. Everyone's heads
I mean, giving some advice is better than no advice, right? And just judging.
down and no one's smiling or just seems happy. Literally, no one's socializing. What am I supposed to do? Chase a guy down the street that does not want to be bothered and ask him if he is single?
That's how guys feel. Why would they bother chasing down a girl that doesn't want to be bothered? Like I said, it's happened to me. I hear the stories from my guy friends. Girls let me know in the comments too, but there hasn't been that big of an
Ego is definitely another factor as well. Ego is definitely like another big factor as well, right? It's always that the histrionic personality disorder. That's more of like the main character syndrome type of thing. And you know, most of these women, of course, online, the internet, social media, TikTok, Instagram, they think like this, you know.
inviting
And I think it's becoming not unrealistic.
environment. And I feel like as much as women hate the awkward interactions and they don't want to be bothered, they don't want to talk to somebody, or they're not interested in somebody, these are the things you have to go through in order to meet the right person. You're going to be having awkward conversations. That's just life.
Most approachable vibes. I'm always smiling, looking pleasant, not looking at my phone. I don't wear my headphones. Literally never once. I've never been approached. Fucking get this. I was talking to a guy I matched with on Cuffed. We were talking on the phone, had the fucking best conversation ever. Ghost me. He literally ghosted me. Just now, if you have like a really good phone call with a guy you matched with on a dating app like Raya, Cuffed, Tinder, or whatever, I guess you just ghost them immediately. It's funny
Bro, it's just that the tables have started to turn, right? Men are no longer going to continue. Because, see, that's how it was back in the day. Back in the day, it's like you approach a girl and then, you know, hopefully she give you her number. You match with her on a dating app. Hopefully she give you the time of day. Men are sick of being treated as if we are on some kind of, you know, we have to perform to get these.
I mean, I feel like it's turned into more just personal, vulnerable point of view to just more of just a business point of view, right? More of a business point of view. It's like, okay, they're always constantly worried about time, money, energy, then with the return on investment. They're focused on that business point of view instead of the more of the personal, vulnerable point of view. Like, you know, the loving, the caring part, right? Showing who you are as a person. So it is definitely in that transition. And then if she said like, oh, she got ghosted, well, like, she's definitely talking to the top 1% of men, right? So
women, and that wouldn't even necessarily be an issue when it come to men if it was for women that were actually attractive. But now we got mid-tier shit. We got mid-tier and low-tier looking women that are having these extremely high expectations, that are ghosting guys. And we sick of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? We sick.
and I think that's definitely because of the influence, right? These like women, definitely have YouTubers. They have YouTube. They have these influence, right? They're just selling courses. They're doing just like the male YouTubers, right? More of the self improvement, that part, right? So they're getting this information from them, right? And it's like, oh, you should have this ideal expectation. Now it's creating their reality as well. So it's definitely that influence part as well, right?
Y'all having unrealistic expectations, things of that nature. Now, I'm not trying to say that it's all men's fault why shit is cooked right now, but I'm gonna just be so very honest, bro. Why, as a man, would you want to endure getting ghosted and all this other type of stuff by women who, quite frankly, are about average? And when I say about average, like, these girls act as if they are celebrities. Stop moving as if you're Rihanna when you're really just, you know, regular. You go to school, you go to work, 9 to 5 jobs, you work at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Like on the phone when we were talking, I asked him if he like ever approaches a girl at a bar or in the street, and he was like, no, God, no.
I don't think that's necessarily a red flag. I think that's just repeat of like a guy constantly being turned down or constantly hearing stories on the internet of girls not wanting to be bothered, so they're not even trying, which I do think as a man, you should just fight through that. Who cares? If a girl doesn't want to be bothered, they don't want to be bothered, that's not for you. But don't let these negative interactions that you're getting from women stop you from like reaching out and like talking to somebody in person. I don't think that should stop you. So as a man, like I get you being frustrated and you constantly being let down, but on the other side, you need to grow some balls and just say, you know what, F it. I'm not gonna let these few negative interactions that I've had with females stop me from potentially meeting my future wife and my future soulmate. No.
Thing about it is, bro.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, it's like, like even the mid or low tier, whatever, like acting like they're celebrities is also influenced by social media as well, right?
Like, that will be cool and all. But again, the risk is just not worth the reward. When you cold approach these girls, the chances of you finding your wife and whoop-de-whoop is pretty low. Let's just be very honest with you, bro. Like,
I mean, I feel like at the same time, it's like you have no choice, right? There's like many ways to do it, but of course, it's like you have no choice but to do it, right? Yeah, even though your changes are low, that's still something, right? Yeah, and at this point, like, I think they just it's the rejection part, right? It's like getting turned down part, right? And then if you have that type of feedback, that type of negative feedback, so many times, you definitely feel frustrated. Therefore, you just want to quit. And I definitely watched the video of there's this guy who, of course, had all this advice, right? Took all the advice, right? But still had to face like rejection as well. And he had that positive, and not as positive. He had that negative feedback of rejection so many times that he felt like he just wanted to quit, and then he did, right? So that's just one thing.
and whoop-de-whoop is pretty low. Let's just be very honest with you, bruh. Like, it's damn near a humiliation ritual when you approach these women, because it's like you approach them and it's you could literally be called a creep. She could call you out on social media. Your whole life can literally get turned upside down because you decided to ask for a girl's number. I remember when I was running track in college, we were in the locker room one day and, we changing or whatever. And, the boys was talking about one of them started saying something like, so I don't even remember their exact convo, but it was something like, oh yeah, if a guy goes up to a girl and asks for her number, like, that's weird, that's creepy. And I ain't even chime into the conversation. I was just listening. I was like, yeah, they was just like, yeah, like, you know, it's creepy if you just go up to her and you just ask for her number because, like, you know, you don't even know her, like, whatever, whatever. And in my head, I'm like, well, how else are you?
I mean, yeah, it's just like the fear of the rejection. I never experienced that in my high school, but I know like I think my last year of high school, there's just like one girl who's was way out of my league, right? She wore a lot of makeup. She was very attention seeking, almost like that histrionic personality disorder type. I think looking back, I could have taken the risk and came up and approached her, but I did a lot of approaches in my high school times, and got some lots of numbers and got a lot of dates as well. But especially with this one girl, you know, I just watched her every single day and didn't make a move, right? And I think at that point I just kind of regretted. I think at that point I just regretted it, right? So I never heard of a story like this. What he said. So I never.
Supposed to do it? I was wondering if I was missing something. Is there something I'm not understanding, something I'm not getting? But that just goes to show you the mindset that young men are in, to where we now think that it's creepy to approach a girl just off rip. But the crazy part about it is like, it's like because there's a fine line, right? There's guys who are afraid of being called creepy, and then you have the guys that are more panderers who are like, oh yeah, you are creepy if you do that. Like, that's just not true. Yeah, now you're just pandering. You feel me? Because that's a big problem too. It's a lot of dudes that be pandering and shit. It's getting kind of crazy out here, not gonna lie.
You should still be going out there and talking to as many people as you can in person without ghosting, because I do think ghosting is wrong, and there needs to be clear communication on why you're not into somebody. That's the least you can do. That's the least you can do to respect somebody, and I think ghosting in general needs to stop.
I think definitely it's like a fear factor. Mostly the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment, and the fear of criticism as well.
The ghosting is wrong, it's hurtful, and it really gets at people's self-esteem. It's bad.
I feel like we living in an era where everybody is going to be single. A lot of y'all expectations and standards are way too damn high.
Extremely too high. A lot of these standards need to come down, and a lot of people out there need to stop like projecting what they want in a female or a male, and they're not even that themselves. Like, you gotta stop.
And you know
like,
what? That's so crazy, because I dropped a video on my second channel, and I know it was a controversial video. And for those of y'all that have little to no experience with women, you're not gonna understand what I'm saying. So I know y'all gonna be in the comment section talking about Cam is this, Cam is that, boop de whoop, this is cope. But for anybody that's dealt with and experienced with women, whether that's relationships or maybe you just casually date, hookups, whatever, what you gotta understand is that the red pill and the black pill and a lot of these online spaces for men have convinced you like, oh, you know, all these girls are bops, right? You want to wife up a girl who has either no bodies or like, you know, she's not a hoe, she's not out here for the streets. But this is the problem with that, right? This is the issue. Number one, it doesn't make any sense, and it's extremely hypocritical, because on one hand, all these pills, the red pill, the black pill, they encourage being attractive for the sake of getting hoes up. I don't care what anybody says, bro. It's for the sake of getting. We just reacted to FedEx, and he talking about some, oh yeah, you want to attract, you want to get all the money and all that. It's very surface level. So it's like these spaces encourage you, the manosphere encourage you to get more hoes. And then on the flip side, they say, oh yeah, but when it's time to settle down and wife a girl up, you don't want to get with a girl that's a hoe. How is it that you have an expectation for a woman to not be a hoe when you just been hoeing out? You feel me? It doesn't make any sense. And then they try to reconcile that by saying, oh, well, it's different for men and women. They say that dumbass phrase, a good key opens many doors, but a bad lock is opened by many keys. But this is what you have to understand. That's not how life works. You have a decision to make. See, if you were put in a female's position, because we know on average, women have more options than men do. If you were put in the same position as a woman, and you had access to as many options as she did, let's be honest, 90% of dudes would fold and be just as big a hoes as they claim that these women are. That is a fucking fact. That is a fucking fact. And you know that for sure because so many men is out here wanting to just clap cheeks and clap buns all day. If you
Yeah, like his point was very interesting. And here's what I kind of think of that. Yes, I definitely made a video about these three pills, right? And he's saying mostly that, like, oh, they're just doing it just to get a lot of girls and hook up with them. But then when they try to wanting to settle down, they just don't want to be with them. I think it means that they're trying to get the experience first, you know, getting with a lot of girls. It's like, oh, it's better if I do this than just being alone and having no girls and trying to find the right one, right? It's just trying to build up that experience first, right? I think it's maybe because they're trying to build up that experience first. And even back then, like, back then there was no such thing as these three pills, right? And then, you know, either the chances are, like, you get into like a healthy relationship or a good relationship with them, or just a relationship in general, or you just like straight up hooked with them, right? And then on to the next partner or next woman or man or whatever, right? So I mean, interesting point. Do I agree or like disagree with it? Well, of course, like as a young man who, yes, have like been dealt with definitely a lot of girls before. I mean, back then, like, you didn't really need that one. You didn't need these like beliefs. I think now it's just like, you know, you probably need them, right? And it's probably getting worse as the years go by. But yeah, let's see.
had the options, then you would be, and I know it's gonna be in some of y'all in the comment section. No, Kim, I would never do that. I care about this. Shut up, bro. I'm talking about on average in general. And
And I think I also want to add that, like, it's also the hookup culture, right? And it's very been like influence. That's why, okay, why these companies on, porn, sex, whatever, like, why do these companies are making so much in revenue? Why OnlyFans are, of course, on the rise? Even the incident with the CEO and everything. I'm just not gonna get too deep into it. Why that, like, even high school, the rise of this unprotected sex or whatever, and just very common. It's just like it's the culture itself, right? There's no commitment. It's only short term, right? It's only pleasure based. So
a lot of y'all just be LARPing on the internet anyway. But if you had access to buns, then you would get buns, bro. That's what I'm talking about. So what is that important for, right? When you get in a relationship with a
I mean, yeah, if you didn't struggle to getting girls like this, you wouldn't need as much advice. But if you struggle a lot, yeah, maybe you would have to get advice, right?
girl, I'm not saying that you have to wife up a complete thooter bopper, thought hoe, whatever. You don't have to just do that, right? But understand that when you wifing up a girl, especially if she's attractive, she probably gonna have had a little bit of fun in her life. Now, that don't mean that you should accept a girl that done had a Thomas the choo-choo train ran on her. But if she got a few bodies, especially if she's been to college before. She got a few bodies, she got a couple of whole stories. Listen, bruh, it's life. And if you had the option and the ability to do that, you would do the same shit. And a lot of niggas have whole stories. A lot of niggas got a few bodies under their belt. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, I'm not encouraging y'all to wife up a woman that has a crazy past that you're uncomfortable with. But what I am saying is two things. Number one, you cannot expect her to have this clean slate, godly past when you yourself don't. Now, if you yourself do, then that's one thing. But let's be honest, most of y'all don't. Let's be real. And you're encouraged not to by a lot of these manosphere spaces online. Number one. And number two, my opinion is looks matter so much. See, women value security, men value beauty. Men value beauty so much to the extent of, and a lot of men are never going to admit this shit to you, bro. But I guarantee you, I'll put it to you this way. If you had the chance to date a girl like, what's a celebrity that's considered a beautiful woman, right? Attractive, whatever. Kylie Jenner, Rihanna, whoever you think of your celebrity crush, whatever. If you even have, think of an attractive celebrity. If you had the chance to date that woman seriously, and she seriously was showing relationship level tendencies, she's cooking for you, she's cleaning for you, she's submissive to you, she want to be in a relationship with you, she cut off her other niggas for you. If you had the chance to be with her, but you know she got a little bit of a past, but she's attractive. In your eyes, she's bad. And she's showing all good wifely traits when she's around you. You really mean to tell me you finna turn that down? Let's keep it a billion. No, I would turn it down because bro, let's keep it a billion.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's either that scarcity mindset or that abundance mindset. And I feel like in my position, if I had to be offered that, before I do that, I would first ask more about her past, right? And then why that happened. And then if it's my decision to, like, okay, wife her up or just take her, then yeah. If not, I would still turn it down. So it's, of course, you know, my criteria, like what I kind of look for, it may not be ideal to him, right? So for me, it's like, of course, it would depends, right? I will talk to her more about her past, like why I did this. Is she be able to be more vulnerable about it, right? I was thinking of Margaret Robbie, right? Yeah.
Her past matters, but let's be real. If she's attractive enough, a lot of niggas gonna turn a blind eye, bro. And until you can admit that, then you gonna keep living in delusion, and you probably just, I don't know what you looking for, bro.
Watching both a gay guy and a straight guy, two of my friends, watching them swipe through Tinder. They're like, ill growth, I don't like her hair, I don't like this. I'm like, and look at you.
Damn.
You look dusty.
Why you?
You look dusty.
And your hair is uneven. You look dusty.
You look dusty, for real.
Why you call your homies dusty though, bro?
How are you talking about, I don't like the way her hair's cut and your hair is messy right now, you having a ball cap? You don't like the color of her hair, but you're balding.
Damn.
What are we doing here? Oh, she's a little fat.
Yeah, because like we're always judgmental. Like, why are you always judging first? You know, instead of try to look at yourself. You know, look at yourself, and you know, before judging other people. You know.
Okay, but where's your six pack? You want all these different things in a female or a male, but you don't even got that yourself. What are you doing?
For me, yeah, I definitely wanted this high quality woman, beautiful, like a baddie, you know. But of course, I would also have to take care of myself too, look my best version of myself. And if she is her best version of herself, then we're good. That's it, you know.
And honestly, I think that this is the biggest issue, or at least one of the top 3 issues, because, and it's really on both sides. For men have all these expectations, but the average body fat percentage for men is 20%. Y'all walking around looking like, you know, Kung Fu Panda and shit. You feel? And then it's the same thing on the other side with women. Women expect a nigga to be tall as shit, 6-pack, buff, but ain't hit a gym the day in their life.
I be wanting a nigga that's making 6 figures.
Yeah, that's like definitely true. And even like these types of things that they said, the 6-pack, you know, looking good and stuff. That's the easy things to change, the simple things to change. But of course, it requires that motivation, discipline, and consistency, right?
And
It may not be fun doing it, but it's definitely rewarding in the long run.
in this economy, who the hell is really making 6 figures?
That too.
Nobody.
Like, you got to be realistic with the whole money thing, and people are young. You need to give people a break, and like they're all growing up in life. And I think that's kind of the perk of like gay relationships, in that for the most part everything is split, obviously, until you get married and things end up different then. But off the jump, it's very equal and it's very just realistic. Like, no, it's not fair that a man has to pay for everything.
Facts.
And they're freaking 19, 20, and the girl's just raking in the dough from her part-time job.
And exactly, bro. The standards are way too uneven and unrealistic, and I think in this one it's a little bit more in favor of the men, just because women that are even unattractive, like if you are an ugly woman, you shouldn't be having no standards. Your standards should be on the motherfucking floor. I want a guy that's tall and he got to be 6 feet, make 6 figures, and he got to be buff and ripped. Whole time you built like melting ice cream, 2-3 kids at home. You know what I mean? Part-time lash tech. You listen to Huncho, you the birthday ad music, and you also work at your local Walgreens, and you get all your groceries from Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I was definitely on dating apps, and I definitely had a lot of attention from, of course, the not so attractive women, right? But they're very degenerate, and a lot of the times, like mostly all of them, I just turned them down because of that.
Or the Dollar General store, bro. Like, what are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? It really be that lopsided. And the crazy part is, I was just thinking about this the other day too. Men have an expectation to be the quote unquote breadwinners, right? Which means that there's an added pressure when you as a man are in this type of economy to where everything is expensive, inflation's going crazy. As a man, if you can't get your ish together, ain't no woman gonna want to be with you long term. But for a woman, it's gonna be a lot more comfortable because you don't have to be the breadwinner. All you have to do is be a traditional woman and have a man take care of you. And so you have less pressure. Now I'm not saying they have no pressure, but you have a little less pressure because you can get carried through life. Men are willing to do that for you. And the thing about it is, when you're in that position where it's easier for you, it's super easy to point the finger and assign blame and say, oh, men ain't got they shit together. You feel me? And so they just point the finger. Now, again, I ain't going to say it's completely lopsided because men got real unrealistic standards too. Yeah, she got to cook for me. She got to clean for me. Whoop-de-whoop. But again, look at you, bro. This nigga is right. You is dusty, bro. You still ain't got your shit together, bro. You is broke. You feel me? So on both sides, I think we need to cool down the standards.
Being able to save all the money, that's not fair either. And for men, it's not fair that they're expected to have 6-figure job and be all stable and connected at 2022. Like, you're actively getting your life together and you should be growing with somebody individually and together. Like, you should be growing with them.
And I think it's just like the part of the society standards, right? It's like, oh, if you're 21, if you don't make 10K a month, you're a failure, it's over, right? You know, these very unrealistic expectation. Yes, it's all go back to like social media, right? That's why like most of the young people or the young individuals are feeling very behind in life. When in reality, it's like, oh, it's probably just all an illusion, and it's just like this unrealistic expectation, right? You know, you see people on social media with these fast cars, these nice houses, but if you look at reality in general, like everything is very expensive nowadays. So
instead of looking for a man that already has everything that you want, like, that's just not realistic.
That's not to say that there are not people out there that's making 6 figures, but it is very rare if you find somebody that's out here making that amount of money. And not only that, a lot of y'all be wanting shit from other people that y'all can't even give to nobody y'all own themselves. Like, y'all have really let social media ruin y'all views of relationships. Like, there is nothing wrong with having standards. I feel like everybody should have standards. Yeah. But y'all need to start having realistic standards. Y'all didn't let them damn podcasts trick y'all into believing certain things. And behind closed doors, those niggas don't even follow the same rules that they be trying to teach y'all. Nope. I'm telling y'all, most of them men that be in them podcasts, they be lying. Most of them, they're cheaters and they're liars. People nowadays feel like they got so many options. Just because you got a lot of niggas in your inboxes, that does not mean that you have options in real life.
It doesn't. You need to be with somebody that makes you feel calm, at peace, inspired, motivated, driven. You got that, and then like the foundation of like, oh, we have the same viewpoints for the most part, or, you know, we look at religion the same, you know, we both have the same like major life goals. You got those two, lock it in and go. See how it works out. See how long you guys last. See how you're able to build a life together and see how.
I agree, but honestly, if we being all the way real, I think that attraction has a lot to do with it as well. See, this is the thing about it, bro. A lot, and because look, my thing is, bro, I'm 25 years old. All right, I'm not with the pandering. I ain't pandering to nobody. I ain't no grifter, none of that. I'm gonna just call shit how I see it. And the way I see it is that all this is important in a relationship. But you know what else is important? Making sure you're with somebody that is attractive. And a lot of people ain't gonna say this shit, and they'll never admit this shit, bro. But the truth of the matter is that if you are with a partner that you find attractive, or that other people also think is attractive, you are going to be happier, bro. Now, I know what y'all gonna say. It shouldn't matter what other people think, whatever. And in a perfect world, it really shouldn't matter what other people think. But we're human beings, and it does. We're human beings, and we care about what people say.
Yeah, and I definitely made definitely quite a good amount of videos on course of attractiveness and how looks matter and stuff. But like I said, it's definitely possible, and you can control your attractiveness. People neglect it, and of course, you know, people should be very honest about that. And like I said, yeah, there may be judgment, but so what? Who cares, right? They're afraid to tell the truth because they fear of being judged or rejected. When in reality, it's oh, that's probably true, definitely true, 100% true. I'm not going to be delusional and disagree on that. Yeah, it's definitely true. I definitely was been there, done it, changed my attractiveness, and then I started getting a lot of attention and respect. And people would always say, oh, looks don't matter, and then people try to deny it when in reality it does, right? And I was very honest about that, right?
Say about each other. So, let's say you got a girlfriend, right? And people think that your girlfriend is unattractive. Your girlfriend is undesired. Not a lot of dudes are, really shot they shot. You're probably going to feel like, damn, that's cool, but you know what I mean? Damn, nobody else want her. I was the only one. See, it's not just women that feel that way. Now, on the flip side, if your woman is desired, if you know for a fact that niggas, they like her, okay, she look good, then she's going to be a little more desirable to you. And this is not just how women operate. This is just how human beings in general operate. Why? Because all of us want to be able to be with somebody who is considered we all want to be power couples. We all want to be oh shit, look at them. We all want to be like that, bro. And the reason that we know this is because, and I know a lot of men will deny this shit, right? But you would never be with a girl that's chopped, you know what I'm saying? And if bro, if you had the opportunity to be with a girl that's considered attractive, let's say you was the same level of attracted, you like both of these girls, right? The only difference is that one is deemed more attractive by other people, and one is deemed as less attractive by other people. You're gonna choose the one that's more attractive every single time. Let's just be honest. It's such an easy answer, bro. That shit matters. Looks matter, bro, and they continue to matter, bro. And a lot of people will try and be like, "No, Cam, that's wrong," but it's the fucking truth. It's the motherfucking truth. Let's be so real, so real.
Individually, you're growing as a person, and then also has your relationship growing, and then how are they growing? Is it a good pair? Test that out. But you can't look at the whole world and say, oh, I have so many options. I got this many people that want me, this many people in my DMs. Those aren't real people. Those aren't real connections. You cannot let that fool you into thinking that the whole world is yours, and it's not. When you find that person that just makes you extremely happy and accepts you for who you are and makes you just driven, inspired, motivated, just all the above, go for that, lock it in. But you gotta let go of these expectations and all these different standards that you have for everybody else and not even yourself half the time.
A lot of y'all women, y'all be letting that shit get to y'all head thinking that y'all got a bunch of options.
And here's
y'all
my question. So kind of a callback to what I was talking about earlier. Let's say there was a woman who makes you feel driven, makes you feel all that. Wife qualities, crazy, whip it up in the kitchen, crazy cleaning skills, does it without even asking, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Shucking the soul out of you, the soul out of you, bruh. You feel me? She make you feel driven, inspire you, support you, willing to submit, whatever. You tell her you don't want her to go out that night, she ain't going out. And she ain't got no issue with it. Still finna shut the soul out social media. But she got a past. Are you turning that down, my nigga? I'm and that's a real ass question, because the bot answer, and be honest, because the bot manosphere answer is
Depends if you have an abundance mindset or not. And of course, yeah, going back to the oh yeah, I forgot the attractiveness now. At least just work on it, right? It's easy, it's possible. there's lots of things that you can definitely improve on, right? As long as you look like you don't have to be supermodel. Well, eventually you're gonna have to. It's gonna be required. You're gonna look like that, but as long as you look natural and conventionally like considered attractive, then you'll be fine, right? So
Nah, bro, she used to be a hoe, so what they will. Okay, but let's say this girl that used to be a hoe literally got everything else going crazy. Attractive as fuck, bad as hell, wife qualities, all that. What matters? What matters more? The way that she's acting or her past? Y'all finna turn that down? Most niggas gonna claim yes on the internet and LARP, but IRL, behind closed.
yeah, it depends on the mindset, the scarcity, the abundance, and especially if it's once in a lifetime, it's gonna be very tempting for them to say yes or no to that. Yes, if they if they say yeah, they'll do it, but you know, the past is gonna, her past is gonna annoy them. But if they say no, it's like that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So the amount of scarcity is, I think, is rare, very rare.
Doors, niggas will do things that you would never believe. I know a lot of y'all watching this will claim one way or the other, but behind closed doors, we know what you would. And that's why I said that like this, my advice is no longer going to relate to niggas that don't get bitches, bro. Because I'm tired of like just pandering to y'all, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't get girls, like you can still watch the content and everything. Of course, I'm gonna be able.
And of course, it's like wanting to have sex. It's like definitely very common. Of course, it's definitely our human primal natural instincts, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, right? But like definitely now it's being normalized and abused, right? It's part of your, according to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is definitely part of the basic needs, right? You have your physiological needs like food, water, and then you have your basic needs, shelter, and then the love and belonging, which is the intimacy, the sex, all that stuff. So it's definitely part of the basic needs of the Maslow's hierarchy. Now, if that's been truly affected, there's two of the needs, like of course food, shelter, and then water is easy, right? But the love and belonging doesn't have those needs met. There's gonna be something wrong with it. And it's gonna cause, like I said, a lot of chaos, right? And you won't even move to the next stage, right? This is why I think this is why majority of the young people are purposeless. They can't find meaning to life because of that, affecting that basic needs. And it's definitely as well as being able to develop a self-esteem and that self-actualization, right? Self-actualization is actually the top of it, right? Top of the pyramid of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
To give advice that's gonna help you out, but I'm gonna just be very real. This ain't no manosphere grifting shit, bro. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. And if we being honest, bro, shit is not as black and white as shit may seem.
None of these niggas in real life, and then in real life, y'all don't even really be having niggas like that. Like, I still have hope that there is love out there, but baby, the way that it's going nowadays, you'll be lucky if you even find somebody that still shares the same values as you do. Somebody who still believes in love and that still believes in.
I mean, even to the people out there who are in relationships right now, they're in very good, healthy relationships. At least try to be grateful for that, because right now it's very, very difficult, right? Extremely difficult, and they don't even realize that. Probably some of them are just taking it for granted.
Actually sticking by somebody and working this shit out. Y'all
Yes.
get with somebody, and the minute y'all feel like they do one thing that's wrong, y'all want to just walk away.
And you can't do that. You can't walk away. You have to work on it. You have to build. You have to get to the core of the issue. And obviously, there are situations where it just does not work out and you guys aren't communicating right and it just not working. But if you're growing and things are changing, then yeah, work it out. But that's not to say that every relationship is 100% all the time forever. No, there's going to be some years where someone's giving 25%, someone's giving 75%, somebody's giving 50-50, somebody's doing 75-25, both 100. Like, it's going to be different, but it has to be a shared union, and that, yeah, we're both fighting for this. You're my life partner. We're going through this, and that is what it is. And I've seen so many superficial reasons for people why they're leaving their spouse, or they broke up with their girlfriend or their boyfriend because of this one little reason here. And I'm like, y'all can't just work through that. Y'all can't just talk it out. You're leaving because of that. It's so silly.
And you gotta play hard to get because men love the chase. They actually don't.
They don't. Thank you.
Anymore. Okay? They are not fucking with the chase anymore. Let me tell you.
Look. It's not that men don't fuck with the chase. It's that the chase has changed. The chase has changed from, oh, I'm chasing her so that, you know, I can make this woman my wife, make this woman my girlfriend. It goes from that to now I'm chasing her because I want to get to the buns. That's the only real change. That's the only real difference these days.
Ladies, it has changed, okay?
I mean, overall, like, the chase has been very constant. And to the point where it's like you're wasting a lot of time and energy. And no one wants to play those games anymore. They just want to get straightforward and to the point. That's it.
Okay? And look, I'm not actually unhappy about all of it. It's been ingrained in us as
and
young...
what I'll say is for the women. I do understand where the women is coming from on this topic, because it's like, okay, damn, like, I can tell this nigga chasing me, he want some buns, but, you know, I wanted something a little bit more, but it look like he's kind of just sharking. So in a way, you almost have to kind of play, you know what I mean? But he coming on heavy, he love bombing and shit. So it's almost like, damn, I know what he wants. So it's like, damn, I don't even want to talk to him like that. You feel me? The only thing I'll say to women is that women are very indirect sometimes, and they don't know how to, well, they know how to cut dudes off. But it's that, like, they get caught up in the whole attention aspect of it. It's like she want to cut him off because he wants something that she don't necessarily want, and they not really aligned on that. But because she getting so much attention from it, she still sees it as a net benefit. You feel me? So for women, y'all got to learn how to just let go of that attention shit, man. It's for the same reason when, like, bro, now, I know in a lot of other people's relationships, they be telling, I've never had to deal with this myself, but I know in a lot of people's relationships, like, dudes will, their girl might have a guy that they talk to, a coworker, a friend, a buddy, whatever, and he might be, you know, acting a little suspicious, acting a little crazy. When the guy says to block him, she's like, why? Why would I block him? I don't want to block him. Now, I ain't never had to deal with that before. Anytime I've told my significant other to block somebody, I don't even think I've ever had to do that, really. I've never really felt like I've been in that position in the first place, to be quite honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've ever even, maybe like in a past relationship. But even then, I ain't really had to deal with this, really. But I know a lot of dudes, they'll tell their girl to block somebody, and she like, no, why would I block him? Right? And it's because she loved eating up that attention. And unfortunately, when she continued to eat up that attention, it's going to start turning into something that maybe she didn't intend for it to turn into, but you let it happen anyway because you love the way that he was acting or whatever.
Women that, not to be too easy, right? And that men love the chase, and that they're only going to want you if you don't want them, and you got to play hard to get, right? And
I mean, that's the same thing with, of course, the manosphere. Oh, let her chase you, blah, 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 do this. It's like same thing, right? Same thing.
I've always thought it was bullshit.
Yes. I've always thought that idea was stupid, and it never made sense to me. Like, just be real, show your feelings, be vulnerable. Straight people dating world, it's all just interesting. And there's some of this happens in the gay world too, but for the most part, gays just keep it real and blunt, especially like the quote unquote normal gays. They keep it blunt to keep it for real. I never understood this side of relationships in the beginning where someone's playing games, they're playing hard to get. No, if you want me, you want me. If you don't, you don't. But like, let's keep it real, let's keep it blunt, let's keep it pushing. I don't have time for the games.
I don't want to. That takes too much work, you know? But now it's gone too far the other way, where they want us to literally do all the work instead. It is unfortunate that both men and women are getting fed horrible advice.
Look, at the end of the day, bro, this how and look, this is what it really is. This is what it boils down to. It's more so that I think now men that Men that see women only feel this way about the men that they want. Men that are attractive are now are waking up and realizing, oh shit, I ain't gotta chase. The only dudes that have to chase these days are dudes that are unattractive. See, the wool has just been removed from our eyes. We see what it really is. Things have always been like this. The only dudes that are chasing are the guys that that never really had a chance. But the truth of the matter is that the 80-20 rule stands. A lot of women are going for the top 20% of dudes. And those top 20% of dudes aren't putting in any effort no more because we understand. They just gonna come to me. They just gonna come to us. Man, but anyway, this video is already mad long. We had 32 minutes. If y'all want me to react to the rest of this, run this video up. If not, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry, bro.
Yeah, I definitely a long video. Definitely, you know, overall, it's a very difficult, right? He didn't also address that the fact that it's definitely a competition, especially him addressing the 80-20 rule, right? And I also want to say that in terms of what he said is attractive, right? Maybe back then the standards of attractiveness changed over time as of now, right? Where you needed more than everything. Everything has to be perfect, all that stuff, right? And I definitely started watching his videos more, especially definitely his take on the looks maxing stuff. Of course, if you want me to react on that, just comment down below, and I'll definitely react to it on that. I'll probably just react to this, definitely react to his videos on looks maxing probably in the near future. But anyways, right? He talks about, oh, you have to be attractive, but when he starts to react to videos of looks maxing and he goes against it, I might be like, okay, why would you say like, okay, looks matter, attractiveness matter, but then when you see these young unattractive men trying to improve their appearance, trying to be their best selves, trying to look as, you know, very attractive as possible, you put them down for it, right? And I feel like it wouldn't make any sense. But overall, it's like you're not gonna die single and alone, right? And even if that's the case, like, you know, you have to acknowledge it, right? And you have to start practicing self-love and loving yourself. And I feel like that it's probably gonna be the last resort. But overall, just, you know, don't give up on this one. You know, even though that's more hard, even though it's very hard, like, just don't give up on it. And if people realize this sooner than later, then good, right? Then there's hope to change. And then maybe one day, like, hey, yeah, you're able to find the one, right? You know, even what he said, like, okay, everything you ever wanted, but she has a past, right? Okay, it depends what type of past she has. It's not very specific and ideal that I need to just talk to her more like, hey, what's her past and stuff. Anything like that. I can go on and on, but of course the video is gonna get long as always. The video's gonna get very long, so definitely I'll do more of these next time. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. My links are in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.